Yeah, this game's gonna be the reason it gets banned next offseason, though. I see
That,
a lot more owners switching over to like yeah, we can't have this anymore, just because of this game, because it's been scrutinized so much like this the past few days about how they jump off sides or they line up off sides, they jump off sides every time, and we've all
yeah,
seen it for the last couple of years. They've been doing it. They line up off sides and full start every time.
the fact that they're just now talking about it, they line up like that every time. I don't understand. I mean, it should have been called, and I hope now that it has been brought to the daylight that it is called from now on. But is that the reason I lost? No, the reason I lost is because Kelsey can't catch a ball right in his hands.
This is All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Kriska Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Welcome to this NFL Week 2 Overreaction episode of All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis. That's Jake Winnikine on the bottom right, Luke Rule on the top right, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz on the bottom left. And like I said, we're coming off Week 2, a lot of storylines, a lot of overreactions we got to get to. But before we do, let's introduce you, Luke. The Baltimore Ravens took care of business, kicking the absolute shit out of the Cleveland Browns. Bounce back game. How was your weekend, my friend?
Yeah, my weekend was great. Didn't have any stress on Saturday watching UCF play. Then you got to watch a nice noon game with the Ravens just beating the shit out of the Browns on our 30th birthday party. So it was good time.
Hell
Good time
yeah.
for the Ravens. Looks like our defense is back on track, hopefully.
Promising defense, like I said. They knew they were going to show back up, but just had to wait. Had to wait another week. But, hey, sorry I had to kick your ass in fantasy football. I had to do it, man.
It's okay.
I'm back. Jake, your two teams, the Florida Gators and the San Francisco 49ers, between the two went 1-1 against Chris's teams, the LSU Tigers and the New Orleans Saints. Besides that, how was your weekend, my friend?
Yeah, besides the Gators sucking it up. Niners are 2-0. I mean, we got more injuries than I can count on my hands, but we're still 2-0. I think we still beat the Cardinals this week, so I'm all right. Let's go Mac Jones.
That will be a big game tomorrow. Battle 2-0 teams we're going to talk about. Doc, your Chicago Bears, they didn't look too good. I know it was a bad football weekend for you. Fantasy football, you did bounce back. But how are you doing, man? How's the weekend?
Mark, I would rather talk about how are you doing, man? How was your weekend? How are you feeling coming out of this week?
Back on track in all my fantasy leagues. I came up the most, all three of them, the Dynasty League, Riz's League, and my office league, so four of them. I mean, Falcons and Longhorns, they both won. Not competitive offenses I like to see yet, but defenses on both sides for them look amazing. So love the defense, but the offense needs to finish drives. But, hey, 2-1 for Texas, 1-1 for the Atlanta Falcons. Can't complain.
I will say shout out to my coworker CV. Absolutely fucking dragged him this week. It was a rough game for him. Final score was 155-67. Don't give up hope, man. Don't give up hope.
But that doesn't answer my question. How was your weekend for football, like actual watching the games?
My weekend was great. Spent time with the family. Caught up on some work. I was filling in for a couple roles last week. Caught up on some stuff with that. So, weekend was good.
All right. Well, we'll talk the Bears. Don't worry. There will be a topic tonight with the 0-2 section.
I'm sure they fucking will.
They will. But Jake's going to kick us off here with the NFL injuries because every single week we have injuries that pile up. And there's some names out there, quarterbacks especially, that are going to be a big thing to talk about. Jake, shoot us the names that we need to be watching out for fantasy and for just bets in general.
Yeah, obviously number one on the list, and not number one in everyone's hearts, Joe Burrow. They're saying a minimum of 3 months. I think his season is done, to be honest. Their season's gonna be over, and they're not gonna bring him back when they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Burrow's done. Justin Fields concussion, so that he's gonna be up in the air. We don't know what's going on with that. Jaden Daniels, he got a little banged up knee. All signs are pointing towards playing, but still something to watch for the week for sure. Chicago Bears, I haven't heard nothing definite, but Jalen Johnson doesn't sound good. It was like a groin, but now they're saying that there's another injury that hasn't been made to light yet. So I don't know what's going on with Jalen Johnson. You got AJ Terrell with the Falcons. Another
That's a big
one where nobody said anything yet. From what I was seeing, like the panic level is like a medium. So who knows if he's going to miss a few games. Obviously, the Commanders lost Eckler for the year. That one's not as huge. I mean, but
They lost
they
pass
still
rusher, too. They lost Wise Jr.
Yep. And then you got I think Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Van Noy for the Ravens are banged up. I mean, that could be big.
Humphrey's fine. Kyle Van Noy's got a hammy, so he'll miss probably 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4.
Yeah,
he's older.
Soft tissue. Yeah. And then Minnesota Vikings lost 2 of their offensive players. You got J.J. McCarthy and Aaron Jones both on the IR.
Did JJ officially hit the IR, or is he?
He's showing out for me.
Well, I know he's out, but I was talking to Riz. He said that he might only miss 1 or 2 weeks. But Schefter said 2 to 4 weeks. So I don't know what's going on.
I saw.
If it's less than 4, they're not putting him in the IR.
Yeah.
I don't think he's.
But yeah, I mean, no Aaron Jones, no JJ McCarthy right now for sure for the Vikings.
All right. Well, that's something.
JJ McCarthy confirmed is not on the IR yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that could also change. But that's some names to watch out for. But let's jump into the games. And last week I asked you guys, would the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills be the game of the year? And we might have already had a game top that. The Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants went into overtime. Luke, I know you were sweating, and I'm not sure who else picked the Dallas Cowboys as a survivor, but the Dallas Cowboys did end up winning this game 40-37 in overtime. Brent Aubrey, they settled for a 64-yard field goal. Never in my life would I picture a coach settling for a 64-yard field goal to tie the game or even win the game. But, guys, let's talk Dallas Cowboys first. I know we were high on them coming out of the Eagles game. Are we still high on them after this embarrassing fourth-quarter meltdown from their defense?
Not even just the fourth quarter. I mean, Dallas struggled versus the Giants. Yes, it's a division game. But, no, I was not impressed with Cowboys as of week 1. And they should have lost that game. I mean, Russ was being Russ with that terrible throw at the end. But they should have lost that game.
The offense didn't get going until the fourth quarter either. The offense was pretty quiet, really, until late in the second half.
My mindset is the Cowboys are this week what we expect the Cowboys to be. They've got the weapons on offense. Jamani Williams is doing way better than anybody thought that he would in Dallas. Dak Prescott threw for 361 yards, a pair of touchdowns. The defense, we knew that there were going to be struggles with the defense after losing Micah Parsons. So for me, this is like this is the Dallas Cowboys that we thought we should have seen last week. The defense played a hell of a lot better last week than we thought that they would. The offense was kind of slow, but this week, this is the Cowboys that I envision for the rest of the year. Now, the sad part is you did give up 450 passing yards to the Grim Reaper in Russell Wilson because this dude is on his deathbed of an NFL career. And the embarrassment is that you let Russell Wilson come in here and almost throw up 500 yards on you. Yeah, that's insane.
And like Jake said, Russell was great until that one stupid bonehead throw in overtime where it looked like he was just trying to arm punt it for no reason when they didn't even need to. It was embarrassing. Terrible. But they made Russell look like prime Russell. They made him look like Seattle Seahawks Russell Wilson where he used to cook. And the offense, like I said, shout out to Javonte Williams. Hey, we wrote him off before the season, but he's playing good. But
this 2 weeks in a row, he's playing good.
And I'll give it to him because the first week we let it kind of like a pass off because of Jalen Carr not playing. But he played good against a very good defense for the Giants. Well, same thing to the Giants. We'll talk to them in a minute. But their defense didn't show up or didn't exist in the fourth quarter.
But even the Giants or the Cowboys as a team. 28 rushes for 135 yards. You got Dallas, like Dak still went out 38 of 52. I mean, short of throwing more touchdowns than 2, I mean, the offense clicked on every cylinder.
But late in the game, though, and that's what I was going to say, Lucas, are you worried about this Cowboys at all? Like, I mean, it just seems like they're a little inconsistent. Like, the second half, they showed up against the Eagles, too, a little better. Obviously, the drops happened with Lamb. But this offense is just kind of up and down at the moment. The defense, very bad against the Giants, but very good against the Eagles.
Yeah, defense is pathetic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the offense I'm not too worried about. The defense would be like the big issue for the Cowboys overall. The offense, I think they'll have their ride the waves where Dak will be able to get CD a few times, and seeing Pickens becoming more and more open as they start to use him a little more. Pickens just gonna stop getting personal fouls and
actually block
offensive pass interference calls and shit like that. So I mean,
they actually got Ferguson involved too.
I mean, you got the win, but you should be absolutely embarrassed. You made Russell Wilson look elite. 450 passing yards is ridiculous.
That's what I expect from the Cowboys defense.
I do want to say though, what Luke said about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb caught the ball again this week. 9 catches on 11 targets.
He still had a couple drops though. He had a drop, I think.
He did, yeah.
Hey, 9 of 11 is still a hell of a lot better.
No,
drop in clutch time,
No, it's a lot better, but CeeDee Lamb's going to get his numbers. We all know that. It's just, can he not drop passes in the crucial moments in the big games?
Arguably one of the top 3 receivers in football. You got to catch the ball. You should have 1 to 2 drops a season.
Now, when it comes to
I wouldn't go that far.
The elite ones have a couple drops.
Yeah, I would say like a CeeDee Lamb.
That were their fault.
Yeah, obviously, like the diving catch. It's not. I don't really consider that a true drop, but I believe that's when you should haul in. That's where I kind of draw the line there. But when it goes to the Cowboys being high on them, I'm still a little bullish on them. But I came back a little bit. It came back to the medium just a little bit because I still think this can be a playoff team. But I need to see the consistency on the defense. I need to see the offense have a good rhythm going. Now it was high on after the Eagles game, even though they lost, but it's come back even though they won. And I just don't know how I feel about this team. Now, if you're across the 50-yard line, you have a weapon with Brent Aubrey. So you're guaranteed 3 points, it seems like. The guy's a dog.
You only need to get 30 yards of possession. You got a field goal.
Yeah. And Brent Aubrey, like I said, I've never seen a coach settle for a 64-yard field goal before. And then in the 4 o'clock window, the Colts tried doing the same thing at about 60 yards. So it's just crazy. But yeah, the Giants, though, Luke, this is your boy, Cam Scatterbo. Russell Wilson bought himself another week, though, by the way. But are they going to start incorporating Cam a little bit more and take away some of them load off Tyrone Tracy?
Yeah, I think they should. I think Scatterbo actually led touches for running backs or snaps for running backs this week. I mean, he gets the ball. He's a little bowling ball, just pounding down everybody. He takes everybody head on. So love the way he plays.
Not a bad
I was
pass.
actually shocked
What was the bring a dart in for a play out? Bring a dart in.
I don't get that because Russell was playing good.
Stupid.
I understand if you want to mix it up because he's not playing good, but Russell was playing good. Why would you take him out every now and then for a play here and there when Russell's actually doing something? Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Maybe Russ needed a break.
And on the plays they brought him in, he was running with Cam. So it was handing it off.
Russ can do that.
It was very weird.
That's the type of stuff that's going to get Dayball fired. I mean, and you don't.
It wasn't. I didn't see what you guys are specifically talking about, but it wasn't a situation where a helmet came off or something that mandated him coming off the field.
No, it happened more than once. They just kept bringing him in for one play and giving him a handoff.
In the NFL, if Russell's helmet comes off, you can still play. This isn't college, so they could still play the next snap. They have to come off at all. So
it's only they stop for an injury. You have to come off for a play.
Unless you call a timeout.
Jake, would you?
Yeah.
I want to ask you something, Jake, real quick, since we were on the topic, because I just found finally a website that is posting the information. Would you consider Jamar Chase a top receiver in the league?
Yeah, he's probably the best receiver.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How many drops do you think he had last year?
5.
He had 5 in 2023.
So about last year.
He had 8 last year.
I would say anywhere under.
My
10.
point is just one drop. Yeah, one drop is.
Yeah, but CD had 4 to 5 in one game.
No, I
know.
I was just making that point.
That's half what Jamar Chase.
There's not a lot of websites that show the drops. It took me a while to find one, and I just wanted to make that point. But no, I agree. 100%. You got to clutch. You got to catch in clutch time. You can't have that many drops in a game. 8 across a year is not the end of the world. 5 the year before is great. 5 over 17 games is phenomenal. So yes, I do agree with you to an extent. But 1 for a season is God, if a team had a receiver getting 1 drop in a season, he better be the highest paid receiver in the league.
Now
that's probably Larry Fitz right there.
Yeah, well, Larry's a rare.
Well, Larry also gets 2 targets a week. All right.
Oh, Larry's a rare breed.
Oh, you're talking about Larry in the prime. Never mind. Take that back.
Yeah.
Take that back. My bad.
Giants with the Giants though, if Jackson Dart can be just somewhat decent, do we buy this Giants team a little bit? Because I do believe they have good weapons. They have Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. Robinson, I think, is not a bad number 2. You have an O-line that has question marks, but you have a decent running back tandem. And the defense outside the fourth quarter is actually a good defense for the Giants. The defense was not the problem against Commanders. The offense kept them on the field for so long because they couldn't do anything against the Commanders' defense. I think with Dart, if he's decent, this could be a decent squad.
This team, to be successful, all right, they've got a lot of weapons on defense. They got a much better defense than what I expect for the Giants. They need to put Jackson Dart, and I understand they're doing the typical, we got a rookie quarterback, bringing a veteran for him to learn behind, sit behind, whatever, for a few games. This is going to be like who was that fucking Chicago that they signed that played like 4 games before?
Mike Glennon?
Yeah, Glennon. This is going to be a Glennon situation in New York. You got to put Scatabo in the backfield. I've been a fan of Scatabo for a long time. I know you and I have talked about it, Mark. And you've got to incorporate Wan'Dale Robinson is probably the most underrated number 2 wide receiver in the league, in my opinion.
I like the weapons. Tight end's a little up in there with Theo Johnson, and the O-line can be shaky, but this team has got the pieces. I just don't believe in the quarterback and the O-line.
Yeah, I mean they have the piece on the bench. They have their quarterback. He's obviously night and day better. But
yeah,
I mean, how long do you wait? Because they're going 0-3. I mean, how long do you wait to pull the?
But I understand. I understand the game plan because coming into this season, the Super Bowl is not on the table. I don't even know if the playoffs are on the table. You got a rookie quarterback. You don't want to come in. Yeah, you don't want to come in. I don't think that they're tanking, but you don't want to come in and corrupt your hopeful franchise quarterback and do the Mitchell Trubisky or the Justin Fields where he's so used to tunnel vision with a bad offensive line or whatever the reason is. I think it's just, hey, you're going to be our guy. We know that. Patrick Mahomes had his entire first year until the last game of the season.
But Andy Reid wasn't going nowhere. Dayball's job depends on this. So if you fire Dayball, now you're in that situation, like you just mentioned, with the Bears, where you have a new coaching regime come in that didn't draft Jackson Dart, that didn't trade up for him, and now we're in this situation where we're going to keep doing the Bears situation. Dayball needs to put this kid in immediately to show he has the potential to stay around in 2026 and beyond.
But that's the question, though. Because
now you're going to wait all season.
There's no right time to play him because this is the hardest schedule in the NFL. So you have to play him soon. Like, you can't just wait for week 5 against the New Orleans Saints. It's not how it works.
I agree with playing him because, I mean, if you wait till next season, obviously the coach is getting fired. He's going to have to learn a whole new playbook that he just learned this whole season. It's going to be a mess. As if why not play him?
I agree. I agree.
I think Dayball is just going to wait until the GM tells him to pull Russ so he gets a clean slate once he throws Dart in there.
But the owner might not be patient enough.
But at that point, it's too late, and Dabble's getting fired either way.
Because they're going together. When one gets fired, the other one's going to be right behind them. They're not staying off each other. They're a package deal.
So here's the deal. What you're saying, Mark, makes sense in a lot of situations, but typically it's towards the end of the quarterback's tenure, the end of his rookie contract. If Dayball goes, I don't think that anybody's holding Jackson Dart accountable. I don't think any coach is coming in and saying that's not my guy. And honestly, you look at the coaching prospects that you have and the free agent coaches and everything else, and you hire the guy that's going to tailor around your quarterback. That can also be done. I don't think that Jackson Dart can save Dayball's
I do.
His season. I don't think that he's going to get the Giants to the playoffs this year. I think that there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I think that he can be like the future of the Giants as far as the quarterbacks. I like Jackson Dart a lot, but I don't think it happens until next year. But 1 year sitting on the bench, one bad year, whatever the case is, yes, you got to learn the second playbook in 2 years, but now you've got some security in that, hey, my next 3 years, the last 3 years of my rookie contract are going to be with a coach versus, oh, shit, year 4, new coach came in. What's going to happen to me after this year? That's the difference with this situation. The Bears, it was a different coach in the 4th year of the contract.
Yeah, but the thing is, the owner might not want to wait around to keep doing this fucking ring around the rosy game with these quarterbacks. They've already had the Daniel Jones experiment. They moved on from him.
I agree. But my point is that even if they start him, I don't think that he saves Dabble's job.
Dabble's job depends on the quarterback. It depends on him success because you're not going to get another quarterback down the road. It all rides on your decision that traded up from the second round to the first round to go get this kid.
I don't think that Jackson Dart can do enough this year to save his job. And if a new coaching regime comes in next year, I think that I don't think it's going to affect Jackson Dart. Because even if you're not happy with the guy, you have 3 more years with him.
Doesn't matter if you don't like if you didn't draft the quarterback, a la Josh Rosen in the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury moved off from the first year he got drafted. He was already out the door. You're not tied to the hip because you didn't draft these guys.
I know, but Josh Rosen was also absolute dog shit. You're talking 2 different.
But we don't
know. We haven't seen Jackson Dart. We don't know. You're right. We don't know.
You got to see
But I have a lot more faith. I never liked Josh Rosen coming into the league. I like Jackson Dart a hell of a lot more, and I'm hopeful that he's going to do a hell of a lot better.
Well, we got to see. Let's move on to the Commanders and Packers, boys. The game that kicked off this week, and the Packers seemed like they were in control. And maybe I was a little wrong about these receivers because they did create that separation. They did have a lot of open opportunities. But the thing I'm not wrong about is the quarterback Jordan Love because he continues to miss these guys wide open. He continues to miss the wide receivers. Tucker Kraft had a good game, but Josh Jacobs is not having a good season. The defense looks spectacular. So the question I want to ask you guys is the Packers the best NFC team through 2 weeks?
No, I don't think so. I think it's still the Eagles until somebody proves otherwise.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Especially with Bush staying around. It's going to be the Eagles game still.
See, I don't have the Eagles number 1. I had them as number 3. I had the Packers number 2.
Who do you have as number 1? The Rams?
The Rams. I don't care. I think they have the better offense. The defense is doing good this year. The Eagles don't scare me at this moment because their offense has been pretty average. And the Packers quarterback and it's not even a gunslinger mentality from Jordan Love. He's throwing intermediate passes into the guy's hands that everyone's just dropping. So it's not even a gunslinger. I'm going to throw it 25, 30 yards down the field, and hopefully I make the throw. Jordan Love does not look that special this year. And Josh Jacobs, Jake, I know you've said it, has not been special outside those 2 short yardage touchdowns.
That's all he has.
Here's my problem with the Packers is and I said it last week, they don't have an identity in the receiver room. Your leading receiver, Tucker Kraft, absolutely fucking went monster. 6 for 124 on 7 targets. I like Tucker Kraft. I thought he was going to be good. It was weird they drafted 2 tight ends. We've seen the tight end with Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers last year. It can work, right? But the problem is you have, in my opinion, a star-studded wide receiver room that the Packers can't figure out. They can't find an identity with. Matthew Golden last week, 0 receptions on 2 targets. The guy can't get open.
Can I ask you a question though, real quick?
What?
Because you said star-studded. Are these stars? I get it. Like they have a lot of guys that
you're
are
right.
out there. Are they stars?
No, you're right. That was excessive. I meant as an entire.
Yeah, they have 7. Yeah, they have 7 receivers that are out there at a different time of the game. I get that.
Yeah, arguably only one of these is going to be a number 1 on any other team, depending on the team they go to. But as a wide receiver room as a whole, the amount of talent that exists in the depth of this wide receiver room, and we saw absolutely none of that last week. I mean, they can't figure out what they're trying to do. Dontavian Wicks, if you ask me who I think is the guy on this team for a wide receiver, Dontavian Wicks is not it. He was their number 1 receiver last week. And that brings into question like I said, is Golden getting open? Is he dropped?
Yeah. Ask Luke. I sent him the video. The motherfucker was wide open. Jordan Love's overthrowing him. He's over. I mean, I get it. Should he be faster? Or maybe you should just know your wide receiver speed. That's your job as a quarterback.
No, you got to adjust the throw to the receiver, yeah.
Yes.
They lost Reed. Reed's done for 4 weeks.
Their number 1 wide receiver is honestly Christian Watson. When he's healthy, he's the best wide receiver in that room. And I think he is good, but he's just never there. That's the problem with Christian Watson. And I don't trust Jordan Love. And I do think they're better than the Eagles at the moment.
I don't in crunch time, no. Like when it comes to playoffs, I'm not trusting Jordan Love whatsoever.
I think
I'm not trusting them even on week 3, but that goes to my point of why the Packers are not number 1.
But I don't think they're worse than the Eagles because I don't think the Eagles' offense has looked impressive enough to scare me. I think the Packers' offense has actually looked better than the Eagles' offense. And I think the Packers do have the better defense of the 3. I just think the Rams overall are the better unit, but we'll talk them with the 2-0 teams. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a little wrong about the receivers. I get they have room and they did look better, but it still begs to me that Jordan Love is going to be the problem in the long run of this whole thing. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Looking at the other side, though. Looking at the other side, I mean, the Commanders. Talking about this game as whole. This is like the year 2 regression that we saw with CJ Stroud, that we saw with Jordan Love before he opened it up later in the season. This is the traditional year 2 step back that we see with a lot of these quarterbacks. Zach Ertz had a good game, 6 for 64. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches on 9 targets. I mean,
and outside Debo's garbage time touchdown, he didn't have a good game neither.
No, 7 for 44 is a lot of catches, but they were throwing a lot of flats, a lot of screens, and everything else.
Well, the whole team, and that's the Dan Quinn and Jane Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury experiment. And I think, Luke, you hit it before the season started. You were projecting the potential regression, and I wish I would have stuck to my guns and not had in the playoffs. You have a lot of film now on his tendencies and his habits with Jane Daniels, but the O-line's trash. The wide receivers aren't doing anything. The running game's irrelevant. So the offense is just trash.
Why trade Brian Robinson when you have no run game?
Yeah,
like honestly,
that's even worse decision looking at it now. With Eckler,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand that trade, and they're paying half his salary. They literally didn't want him.
And
it doesn't make no sense.
And why pay Terry and then trade for Debo and you're hardly using them? Like, you paid a guy and you traded for a guy and you're just not using them. Like, what's going on, Cliff Kingsbury? Get your head out your ass. Like, you're supposed to be a guru at calling plays. I don't like you as a head coach, but I know you have some brains at calling an offense.
I think it's coming down to just that. I think it's coming down to the play calling. This is going back to the same Cliff Kingsbury that we saw freeze up and choke in Arizona. This is all pointing to the same shit, the same repeated mistakes. I didn't watch this entire game. I watched a good bit of it. But to me, what struck me the most was the play calling. It was a lot of not taking chances, not going down the field. A lot of, like I said, screen passes, flats, everything else. It was like, you're not going to win the game on bubble passes.
And when you do throw that on the field, can we not throw a fucking 30-yard jump ball to Austin Eckler before he gets hurt, please? Because that's not the way you win games. Who is in their right mind? That was worse than Geno Smith throwing in triple coverage to Trey Tucker last night in the end zone. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. You're throwing a 30-yard jump ball to Austin Eckler. Out of all the running backs I'm throwing to down the field, I'm not throwing it to that guy much. That's a Jane Daniels decision, by the way. And that's another problem is he does not look comfortable, does not look himself.
Was that the game plan? Was to throw that jump ball, or did he just throw a bad throw? I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't give a shit if the throw was good at all. It's a terrible decision. You don't throw it to Austin Eckler 30 yards down the field on a corner. That's not what you do. There's other running backs I trust over him to throw down the field. And it's a key moment. You need the first down, but we're going to Austin Eckler. And he's not a running back, and you're using him more than your running backs. Like, he's not a traditional pound the rock kind of guy. The guy that throws it like 5 yards down the field.
The Commanders looked like they came out last year.
Nothing.
Yeah, no longer. Yeah, unfortunately, his career might be over. And I don't wish that upon anyone, but his age and Achilles, that's bad. I mean, it's bad.
I think the Commanders came out strong last year, riding the hype, everything else. And it's like they came into this season going, we got to rewrite the script. We got to redo everything. We were this close. We got to start over from scratch instead of going with what works. And it's clearly not panning out for them.
Well, we'll see because they
overperformed last year. Let's be honest. Like they had no business being there.
Yeah.
No, because that's the thing is the game plan they had last year worked. That's what I need to know is
they won a lot of one-score games. So
the Giants and Packers have like we said, they have a year's worth of game film of tendencies and habits now of what the traits of Jane Daniels and his team.
That's a difference maker.
And
there was no film on Daniels. Now there is.
Yeah, because college film's not the same as in it. Like college tendencies and all that. It's a lot different.
No, it's not. It's a different level of competition.
Yeah,
it's different speeds.
Totally different. Yeah.
Like you can see the kind of throws he can make. Like that's cool and all that, but you don't. It's not the same as the NFL.
You want to know how you look like the Bears? You game plan for J.J. McCarthy on how he played at Michigan, which unfortunately it's all you had at the time. But still, that's how you look like the fucking Chicago Bears.
But this week I know we're going to talk tomorrow. But the Raiders defense isn't that terrible. So they're playing another tough defense that is pretty feisty under Pete Carroll at the moment.
And they might not have Daniels.
And if he's there, he's banged up.
Yeah.
And you have Max Crosby chasing you down.
Yeah, it can be tough to hit Max Crosby if he's banged up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Guys, let's talk Super Bowl 59 rematch. Let's talk the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champions from the AFC who are 0-2 now. Guys, the question honestly is, did the refs bail the Eagles out? Were the reason why the Eagles won because of the tush push? I heard a lot of that over the weekend. Were the Eagles bailed out because of the NFL refs?
No.
This game's gonna be the reason.
Go ahead.
This game's gonna be the reason it gets banned next offseason, though. I see a lot more owners switching over to we can't have this anymore, just because of this game, because it's been scrutinized so much the past few days about how they jump off sides, or they line up off sides, they jump off sides every time, and we've all seen it for the last couple of years. They've been doing it. They line up off sides and full start every time.
On that third down and one.
The fact that they're just now talking about it, they line up like that every time. I don't understand. I mean, it should have been called, and I hope now that it has been brought to the daylight that it is called from now on. But is that the reason I lost? No, the reason I lost is because Kelsey can't catch a ball right in his hands.
Shout out to McBuka, though, former Longhorn. He did have a nice interception, ran that bitch almost back, and hey, good for them. They won the game. But yes, that third and one, I was watching the NFL.
That lineman got him. That lineman got him.
I would. He did catch him out. Good for lineman to his speed though. But NFL Plus, you guys got to get it. It does show you all the little angles of the play. And yes, when you watch it from the end zone, that third down and one, the lineman before the center hikes the ball, they're already diving, which causes the defense also to move too. So really, it should be a false start. But yeah, it does need to be brought up. I'm all good for the push as long as the other guys can also push too. The defense can't push. That's the only reason I don't like the play truly is because the defense can't leverage themselves.
I mean, yeah, not enough. But if you're going to let them jump early, then it's physically impossible to stop them.
No, I agree.
I don't think tush push cost this game. I think what cost this game is the Chiefs just ain't in anymore. I mean, if you take out Mahomes scrambling 7 for 66, this team was 19 for 55 yards rushing. They have no rush game.
Mahomes has to be Superman.
I have a question, Doc. I have a question for you, Doc. Last couple of years we've done this podcast, I've heard a thing that 1.5 can make the hot dog vendor guy Superman. Where is that, though, this year? Why isn't Mahomes doing that? I've been told he can make the hot dog guy in section 225 a stud.
300.
That's what he's playing with.
300 levels is what I say. 300 levels. But no, that's my thing is before the Chiefs were a lot more complete team. The defense was better in previous years than even I anticipated going into those seasons. This year, this team is just it's so incomplete and missing so many pieces. I have not been a fan of Isaiah Pacheco.
They don't even run them. They're not even running the
Well,
ball.
I mean, 10 of 22. I mean, why would you run them?
Yeah.
Well, where's the O-line? Hunt's not running the ball any better. The only reason why they're getting yards on the ground is because they're making Mahomes Michael Vick. Mahomes has to go out there and run the ball. He's got to be Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Those guys do it because that is part of the recipe of being dangerous. That's not Mahomes' style. Now, he can scramble. He can do it, but that's not what he's supposed to do.
He's hit Patrick's MO, though. Mahomes' MO is extending the play, throwing one of his weird quarter passes, and completing. And God bless him because he can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this year, this has to be.
The defense has not been bad, though. The defense was not bad against the Eagles. Chargers, yes, a little bad. The Eagles, no. That was on the offense.
Yeah, but even then, the Chiefs, I mean, I know I had question marks, like you said. He takes hot dog vendors out of the 300 level and makes them stars. But even this year, this fucking hot dog vendor, Brashard Smith or Nico Remigio, I don't even know who these fucking guys are. He can't make these guys stars.
Brashard Smith came from SMU. They made the playoffs last year. But the thing, though, also is Mahomes.
Jalen Hurts don't even have a throwing touchdown, right?
Nope.
He had 101 yards. The whole game. Honestly,
he told Chris
all season he don't, though, I'm saying.
But like he told Chris Jones, shut your ass up. We fucking won. So that's all that matters. But the thing also with Mahomes is, as much as we respect him and we know he's good, he is missing these guys a lot too. I understand he's hitting them from time to time on these deep throws, but he's also missing these guys on these deep throws. So it's kind of
he looks terrible.
He does not look like himself.
Mahomes in his first, I don't know if it was 4 or 5 years, whatever it was, when he had Tyreek Hill,
that's who he needs right now.
70, right, was like 70% completion on balls over 30 yards. And now he's like 24% completion. I don't remember what the number was. I saw it on the screen, so don't quote me. But it was a huge difference. He is, and honestly, I'm not even going to blame it on the receiver because I watched these throws. I watched pretty closely on this game on Sunday, and this dude was missing throws. Why? I don't remember who it was. He had a dude. I don't think there was a receiver or a defender in the same county as him.
I think it was Thornton.
There wasn't even a defender in the stadium with him, and he overthrew him by like 20 yards.
I'm also going to blame Andy Reid a little bit too, is because when they had all the weapons and it was looking great, it was cool backyard style football. It was working. The play calling's been pretty terrible too. They're not making changes. They're just running the same shit they've run since they've had Mahomes, and you have to actually update that shit once in a while. And that's not what they're doing. They're not updating their playbook. They're not updating the way they call schemes and the way they call plays. Andy Reid's got to be a little at fault too. So I'm going to blame Andy Reid, but the O-line's terrible. The receivers are terrible. And Mahomes, it's shown every quarterback needs help. I mean, you have to have help. And Mahomes can't do it by himself.
Their tight end is terrible too. Don't forget about him.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, it was a perfect pass. Well, I mean, what did Mahomes do? You want him to glue it? You want him to glue it to the 8 and the 7? Because that's what he had to do. He literally threw it
right in the motherfucking numbers.
It hit him perfectly.
Yeah.
He bobbled it and hit his shoulder pad. And then shout out to the rookie safety. He made the right play and he took it almost to the house. So that changed the game. If they hit that, they might win the game.
He had a bunch of those drops last year too. I mean, Kelsey's signed, sealed, delivered.
He's been regressing. He's been regressing heavy. He came back last year, but he's been regressing heavy over the last couple of years. But Mark, I want to say something on your play calling that I 100% agree with, because especially when you look at some of the plays that are being run, right, and some of these guys, they're getting passes. First down, you run the ball. Second and third is deep shot to a receiver that's not even open. We're not even talking the who did you say, the Thornton play where he was wide open. We're talking guys that are glued by coverage or double covered or whatever the case is, and this shit ain't even close. And you're like, so that tells me you're going into the play automatically like, we're going deep. We've got to hit this shit. That's definitely a problem with the play calling.
Yeah, I agree.
Just go get Tyreek Hill. He's miserable in Miami.
And I want to say it real quick. I'm still not scared of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I will say they do tailor their play. They tailor their offense to the team they're playing. And, hey, I'll give it to them. They're 2-0. Like he told Chris Jones, we're 2-0. I respect that. You're winning games the way you have to win it. We will see this Sunday when they play Los Angeles Rams. Can't wait to pick that game. But let's talk the Colts.
The one thing that does, you know, when you talk about, you say the Eagles don't scare you. The one thing that does is you still have Saquon Barkley. You do have offensive weapons in the receiving core.
They have not looked good, though. Like
they haven't. But like you said, they haven't needed to. They haven't needed to, and that's what leads me to my next point: is the Eagles are very, very good at controlling the tempo of the game. They're very good at the clock management. If Jalen Hurts can go out there and push his way to the end zone and not have to throw a single pass, he would. This team is very good at controlling the game, and that is why I no longer bet the fucking Eagles, because when I need Jalen Hurts for 200 yards and this dude comes out with 175 at the half, but they're winning 24-10, this dude is out here, they're handing the ball off, and I respect that. But this dude is out here taking 12-minute drives, and that is what is winning games. At the end of the day, you're doing what you got to do to win ball games.
I respect that.
Well, and we're going to see. I need the Rams to put up 50 then, because I need A.J. Brown more than anything.
Because that's what I was going to say. This is going to be a test for this defense that we all still want to see be tested, because now you're going against Puka Nacua. You're going against, well, I was told a washed Devontae Adams, still a fucking dog, one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. Kyron Williams is still there.
Pleasant surprise.
No, I'm not pleasantly surprised. I'm the only one that said it. He's a fucking dog, dude. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
I had my doubts. That's why I'm pleasantly surprised.
One of the best receivers in football. The man does not change. He's fucking relentless out there. But let's talk about being relentless. The Denver Broncos defense, who was supposed to be relentless this year, shit the bed against Daniel Jones in the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, was this more about the Colts actually finding a way to win this game, or was this about the Broncos choking this game away?
Broncos choke. Broncos suck. I was literally so high on the Broncos. I can fully admit I was so high on the Broncos this season.
Everybody was.
I got Bo Nix everywhere. I got Ingram on a few fantasy teams.
Mark had Bo Nix is the MVP.
I did Bo Nix as the
Bro,
MVP.
yes, seriously. I mean,
but
so
Bo Nix fantasy was good for me. But I also think Sean Payton went conservative in the second half. Bo Nix was hot in the first half. I get the bad throw in the fourth quarter was terrible. But you took the ball out of his hands in the second half. Why are you doing that when you see the Colts balled out against the Dolphins and they're playing a pretty good game against your very paid defense, very supposed to be stud defense, which they didn't look like studs out there because Patrick Tane was getting worked out there like a fucking dog. And I don't get it. Now, the leverage play, yes, by the definition of the law, it was a leverage on the kick on the off the center, barely touched the center, but it is the law.
That was
Especially,
weak, yes.
It was weak, but it was by the law, yes. But still, it shouldn't come down to that. It shouldn't have come down to a 60-yard field goal. Where's the defense? Sean Payton, why are you taking the ball out of Bo Nix's hands? Where's the running game anyways? Where's Evan Ingram? Where's Cortland Sutton at? Fucking Troy Franklin's wide receiver 1 that didn't get that memo to start the season.
Yeah, seriously. What the heck?
He had a good game.
He did have a good game. I give him that. He had a good game.
It's just like you said. They shouldn't have been in this position. We talked about this last week with teams playing conservative. When you've got the lead going into the second half, you cannot let your foot off the gas because if anybody knows football, anybody knows any given Sunday, anything can happen. We've seen it happen. And it wasn't just the last play. The Broncos had 8 penalties for 83 yards. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot time and time again. Sean Payton was definitely playing conservative in the second half and was not going with the – if you go into halftime and the game plan is fucking working, you cannot change that game plan.
You change the game plan. You change it. They make.
You think the Lions let off the Bears coming out of the halftime? You got to stick with what is working.
That was never going to happen.
Because you don't
they
know
could have.
what's going to happen.
Well, Ben Johnson said they don't kick field goals. We already know that.
Is this? Can we do like around the horn where we can put somebody on mute? Jake needs a timeout. There was no need for that, Jake. I didn't say shit about your Niners, Jake. There was no need for that, my friend.
You can't say shit about them. They're 2-0, man. What can you say about the Niners? They're 2-0.
Let me tell you about your wife, okay?
Oh, here we go. But I mean, I just think the Broncos, like you said, Jake, we were all bullish on them. I had them winning the AFC West. Yeah. I had them being a 3 seed in the conference. Had Bo Nix as MVP. I had Jahad Barron being Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's still week 2. You never know. They can flip the script, but hey, they're playing a Charge this week, and you would wish you'd have been 2-0 going into that game, not 1-1. You don't want to fall back 2 games against the Chargers. So, but shout out to the Colts, though. Shout out to Daniel Jones. Shout out to Daniel Dollars. He ain't Danny Dimes no more. He's throwing dollar bills out there. He's Danny Dollars right now. Shout out to him.
One thing I'm going to say.
Number 2 passer in the league, by the way. Who would have thought him and Russell Wilson, number 1 and number 2 in the NFL?
One thing I'm going to say. Last week was very rough for the Broncos. There was a lot of question marks. Daniel Jones had a difficult game, 25 of 40 for 176. Not that he did a ton better on the passing yards, but it's like you said, Sean Payton let off the gas in the second half. So I liked Bo Nix a lot better this week, and I think that is starting to come into form. And this is the hard part about the NFL. The first couple weeks is getting out of the kinks. All the guys are playing full-time for the first time all year long. Now we got some kinks on defense. We got some kinks with the penalties and the discipline. As we continue to progress and move forward, you hope that they can work that out. The Chargers are looking real good to win the division. You hope the Broncos can still make a run at it. Season's not over.
No, season's not over for them or the Chiefs.
The Chargers win next week, though.
Fuck the Chiefs. Season's over for the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs.
We're going to talk Chiefs a little further when we do 0-2 teams. But like you said, Luke, you don't want to go down 2.
Well, this would be 3rd week in a row. Chargers playing division game too.
Yeah, that's
three division games to start off the season. So Chargers go 3-0 to start in the division.
In division, yeah,
and possibly up 2 because if the Raiders lose and obviously if they beat the Broncos, they're up 2 games minimum.
But I think that the Broncos can still come back, easily get a wild card spot. This is becoming, I mean, depending on how what Chiefs show up, it seems like these days, this is a very difficult division. But I think the Broncos can still get a wild card spot. And what it's going to come down to when it comes time is injuries. It's going to come down to injuries. It's going to come down to the full season form. Which guys are tired, which guys are worn out, and who's coming ready to play.
Broncos can still win the division. It's week 2.
Yeah, I'm not writing them off. I'm just saying from what I had them as,
Yes.
that's not it. Bo Nix is not MVP. Like they can still make playoff, they can still make a run, yes, but they're just not as hyped as I had them.
Through 2 weeks, it's not what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the Sunday night football game, the Falcons-Vikings. Hey, Falcons had no run game the first game against the Bucs, but damn sure. I know it's a real quick topic. Bijan Robinson showed out, was probably the best running back in with JT, probably the second week of the year. The defense, I want to talk about it. Do the Falcons finally have a defense? Something that I have not seen since 2017, by the way. We had top 10 defense that year. We're number 2 in yards, number 2, I think, in points per game or something like that. But sacks, we're getting sacks, all 4 rookies, interceptions and sacks. So is the defense finally back for the Dirty Birds?
This game, it's hard to say. This game, it's hard.
Well against the Bucs, by the way.
No, that's why I said this game. And I give you your team huge props for doing what the Bears couldn't do, because you guys literally did what the Bears did until those 3 drives, right? Kevin O'Connell adjusted very, very well, and they came through late in that game. The Bears couldn't hold on. The Falcons did. So that is what gives me hope that the Falcons have a defense that is back to what, we've seen a couple years ago. I think you guys, and this is where the Bears dropped the ball because the Bears did it early in the game, but I think you guys, where the Bears showed that J.J. McCarthy ain't shit and then dropped the ball, you guys brought it back and were like, no, maybe he really ain't shit, because I'm not high on J.J. McCarthy. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback. So thank you for taking down a division.
To be honest, outside the blown coverage after Terrell got hurt, and outside of us having 10 men on the field where we allowed that deep pass to the corner, which, by the way, they settled for field goals both drives, defense shut this team down. So I like what I see for the youth. I like James Pierce. I heard locker room issues, Luke. I don't think the locker room's having problems right now with them. Jalen Walker looks like a stud. Billy Bowman looks good. Xavier Watts looks good. I like the future of the youth on the defensive side. The offense, though, got to finish drives. We were moving the ball. We just couldn't score touchdowns.
That's what
I think one thing that really helped you, though, was having a run game this week.
Bijan's Bijan. He's one of the best running backs.
No, I know, but he was a passing back last week. He had 30 yards last week. So, and not that that's great, that helped out, but having that run game and Bijan doing what Bijan can do helps open up the passing game for Michael Penix. And granted, his numbers weren't phenomenal, 135 yards, but still 13 to 21. I'll take 67%.
Yes, I was high on the Falcons offense coming into the season, but yes, I can say I'm highly impressed with the way the defense has played the first 2 weeks, but not the offense.
Yeah. And you guys got a kicker now.
It's been the opposite of what I expected. Like there's honestly been no
I think the problem with Zach Robinson's offense right now is, if you look at the stats, we have one of the quickest time to throw, which is because Penix is throwing the ball really fast. And time to pressure is low, but that's because that's tying him that he's throwing fast. They're not letting this guy who has he has a good distance arm. He can throw the ball down there. They're not letting him throw the ball down the field, which is making me worry a little bit. And I don't believe he's throwing that many balls into harm's way. He's had a couple, most quarterbacks do, but he has not really put the ball in harm's way. But he's not trying down the field as much. It's a lot more intermediate, maybe 15 yards down the field type throws. So
he's not putting it in harm's way because he's putting it 5 yards away from the receiver.
Well, yeah, but the run game's there, and I think if the run game starts to open up like we're saying, I think that's going to open up the play action. It's going to open up the Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Kyle Pitts is, by the way, he's being used. So I'll take that.
Absolutely. But and everyone's freaking so high on his 3-second release, but he's not. He's doing that and not letting the play develop. He's just looking at his first read and chucking the ball in 3 seconds.
I do think, though, that's a lot of play calling. I believe that's what is being called. I think they are trying to take the yard, like they're trying to nickel and dime you, and then if it works, they'll try and take the top off. But that's not. They're not taking the top off. They're just doing nickel and diming and running.
He don't have time to get open.
No, I mean, does he?
He's literally he's throwing the. Yeah, true. But he's just throwing the ball so fast.
I'm not worried about the offense. The offense came out last week. We know Michael Penix can throw. We know the receivers can catch. We know Bijan can run the ball. I think this week the run game just was good enough. The Vikings were coming out. They brought absolutely nothing. There was not even a threat that the Vikings were coming even close, in my opinion.
Then
the kick game was good enough. Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Is I think that the offense, like we talked about with Jalen Hurts, the offense did what it needed to do when it needed to do it. Yes, finishing drives is definitely something, but at the same time, it's not that you guys were playing conservative like Sean Payton was and backing off, but You guys just
I mean, that was our game plan. Yes or no question though? Are the Vikings done with JJ being out? Carlson.
No, I
wins.
think the Vikings are better.
I was going to say yes or no. Yes or no with the Vikings being done with JJ in.
Yeah, they're done with JJ in. That's 100%.
Well, Carl Wentz, Carl, also known as Carson, is going to be starting. So, guys,
Vikings are done. Yes.
Luke,
What's that?
they done? Vikings?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
But they're getting there.
They're getting there.
Especially They got a bunch of injuries, so it kind of sucks for them.
We're
Every team.
sparking that fire of being done.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a team that y'all were sparking the fire of them being possibly done after the Packers game, the Detroit Lions. Doc, we're going to talk Chicago Bears consistently in the 0-2 segment, but are the Detroit Lions officially back? They dropped 50 burger on the Chicago Bears. Jared Goff, 5 incompletions, 5 touchdowns. The run game was there. Is Motor City Detroit rocking again?
No.
See.
No, I think this is just like a revenge game.
Are we really about to say they're back because they beat the Bears?
I do believe they're back. I never had them dead.
Okay.
I never had them
Calm
dead.
the fuck down.
I thought the Packers came out with all this fire, and we've seen the Packers defense light up both the Commanders and the Lions. So, hey, they've played great defense. I believe the Lions, maybe not this week against the Ravens, are going to be just fine going forward. They'll still be a playoff team. Maybe not win the division with the Packers in there, but they'll be a playoff team. They'll be a wild card at the worst. The Lions will be just fine.
You're a closet Lions.
No,
fan.
because I think they're
he's not even a closet Lions fan. He's openly a Lions fan.
I think from a guy that has Lions, I don't even have him in the Super Bowl this year. But I think that this team is still good on offense. The defense has still got its problems, but the offense is still loaded. They have him on St. Brown. This Tasella kid, by the way, he's a fucking dog. I don't know if y'all have seen these catches this past 2 weeks. He's a freak. You have Jano out there. You got Sam Laporta. You have Jahmyr Gibbs. You have Dave Montgomery. This is still a good team. It's not a bad team where they can't make the playoffs.
So if you're saying they're back, then why'd you say not this week versus the Ravens?
Because I don't trust many teams going to Baltimore, Maryland on a Monday night when they're apparently wearing all black uniforms, defending the bank there. I don't. Many teams I don't have winning in Baltimore on a Monday night.
If they're back, then it should be a game, right?
Because I think the Ravens are a top 3 team in the NFL. I don't think the Lions are top 3 in the NFL. I think that they're about top 5, top 6.
Here's the thing. I don't think the Lions were necessarily done, so to speak. On paper, they're still a very good team. I think the biggest challenge for the Lions was losing their offensive genius that was calling plays in Ben Johnson. And I think that this game, like you said, was a revenge game. And I think that this was a protege going up against his head coach and just ill-equipped. I think that the Lions came out and put together a specific game plan, assuming that they knew Ben Johnson well enough to work around what he, anticipating what he would call, and it worked out. The biggest disappointment for me is the Bears defense in this game. But I think that the Lions have all of the weapons. They have all the pieces to be successful. It's a matter of, can this new offensive coordinator consistently make play calls? Can he consistently get this Lions offense down the field and utilize the weapons that they have? There's no reason why they shouldn't. I don't think the Lions are done. I don't even remember what I said last week, but I don't think the Lions are done. Yeah, it's a matter of can the new offensive coordinator incorporate the right pieces, call the right game plan, everything else. And I think the Lions are going to be just fine.
I think so too.
So from top 3 in the NFL to top 5 is a massive gap.
I would say that if you ask me my top 5 teams right now off the blank of my mind, I'm going Buffalo Bills, I'm going Los Angeles Rams, I'm going Baltimore Ravens. I'll probably have the Packers there and the Eagles there. So I'd probably have them around 6 or 7. Those are my top 5. But the Ravens, I believe it's going into Baltimore on a Monday night. There's not many teams that are going into Baltimore. Buffalo might not even go into Baltimore on Monday night and win. They could barely do it at home and in their own stadium on a Sunday night. So yeah, there's not many teams, Jake. Name me how many teams you think can go into Baltimore this Monday night and win the game. Name me confidently how many teams.
But I'm not even saying win. Like you're saying, it's not even going to be a game.
No, I think it will be. I think it'll be close, but I just don't trust. I don't trust them to go into Baltimore and win this week. I believe the Ravens are just that much better. I mean, they're a playoff team. Top 5 or 6 is still playoffs, is it not? I mean, the Ravens are just the Ravens, Bills, and Rams to me are just on a league of their own at the moment. I think they're in tier 1, and then the rest are like a tier 2, and then like as playoff tiers. I just don't think the Lions are on the Ravens level at this moment in week 3 of the season because the Ravens don't have any question marks. Yeah, I mean, they're in a tier of other stuff. But I don't know. I believe the Ravens are that good. I mean, that's respect to the Ravens. I mean, just more respect than disrespect to the Lions. I don't know. But let's talk 2-0 teams because these two teams aren't 2-0 teams. Let's talk teams that are 2-0 that we believe are going to be a stable going forward. They're going to be consistently there. They're going to be a playoff team, potentially Super Bowl worthy team. What 2-0 teams are here to stay and be competitive and win games?
I got a question.
The Colts.
I got a question, then you can defend it because I know you want to talk about it. So the Rams, why are you so high on the 2-0 Rams? What impressed you? What impressed you versus the Texans? And then they played the Titans.
I'll tell you this. Stafford had a good game against the Texans. They just didn't score many points. Texans have one of the best defenses in football. I don't care if they're 0-2. This defense is you're going to tell me Texans have one of the best defenses in football? Because they actually held the Bucs pretty much in check most of that game outside the game-winning drive. That was a defensive game that Baker looked special on the last drive. Baker was not good that game.
I mean, Falcons' defense looked just as good against the Bucs.
Maybe the Bucs offense isn't as good as we're hyping it up to be, but I still think the Bucs have talent on the offensive end. They held Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and them to 14 points. That's a good defensive game. The Texans' problem is, we're going to talk about them with 0-2, in my opinion, is their offense. It's not their defense. The defense has kept them in the game. The offense is lighting. The offense is doing it.
Rams are the number 1 team because they barely beat the Texans and then they played the Titans.
Because the Texans, I think, are better than the record shows. I think they just played 2 really good teams. And unfortunately, they lost to 2 really good teams. The Texans will be fine.
Is a dog.
Yeah, so is fucking Daniil Hunter. Like Stingley was doing great on Mike Evans throughout the game. He was shadowed most of the game. Buka had a touchdown, but outside that, it wasn't that big of a game for Buka either. So Bucky had a good game. That was good for them. Their rush defense in Houston struggling a little bit. But when it comes to the Rams, I believe they have all the weapons there too. They probably have the top 2 wide receiver duo in the NFL between Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Shit, you have Puka Nacua running touchdowns as a rusher. You have Kyren Williams who had a quiet game against the Titans. Yes, but the Titans defense played pretty well against the Broncos, and they held Kyren Williams in check. But they have Stafford who's playing at a pretty good level. The defense is playing really good. They're overall a better team than the Packers because I trust their offense at a higher level. They're the best.
I mean, I have Rams over the Packers, but you have Rams as number 1 overall. That's what I was asking.
In the NFC, I do. Yes, they have a better offense than the Eagles. The Eagles' offense hasn't shown up, so I don't know what the Eagles have done.
But I mean, like Doc,
just controlling the game.
What have they?
But like Doc said, the Eagles' defense hasn't had to show up.
How about this? The Eagles' offense couldn't do anything against the Cowboys' defense, but the Giants just dropped 37 points on the Cowboys' defense. So where are the Eagles at? Why couldn't the Eagles do that? Where was the rush game? Where was Saquon? Where was Devontae Smith? Where was A.J. Brown? It was just Jalen Hurts running the ball. That was their offense against the Cowboys. They had no offense.
We'll find out this week, right? Don't we got Rams Eagles?
I have Rams, but who's number 1 in the NFC if it's not the Rams or the Packers? Are you saying it's the Eagles because they won the Super Bowl?
Jalen Hurts was still 19 of 23. Jalen Hurts on the ground extended a lot of plays. That tush push was still in motion. Saquon Barkley did not have an amazing game, but he still put up 60 yards and a score.
How many carries did he have? He averaged like 3 yards a carry. That's not good for Saquon
I know.
Barkley.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't have a great game, but he still got 60 yards. This is just like I've been saying. The Eagles control the game. They put up the offense when they needed to. The Eagles have never been a flashy offensive team. The Eagles literally put up the offense they need to.
Kyren, yes, week 2, I already said it was a quiet game for Kyren Williams. It was meant for Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua to go off. That was just their game. But that's the thing is they're so loaded that if Kyren's going to have a bad game because they're focusing on the run, which is what they were doing, the receivers are going to be the ones that are going to kill you. So against the Texans, Kyren Williams was he was 18 of 66 for a touchdown, and he also contributed in the passing game. Only 1 catch, but still – Puka Nacua had 10 for, but Puka had 10 for 130, and Devontae had 4 for 51. So
Kyren's having a rough year.
They just couldn't capitalize on their good possessions and score on the Texans. But I still believe the Texans are one of the best defenses in football. Like I don't care they're 0-2. It's the offense that's the reason why they're 0-2, not the defense.
I'm going to give my 3 here. for 2-0 teams. Pretty simple for me, Buffalo, because that offense is explosive and they can keep up with the best of them. I'm going to add in the Chargers. The Chargers are looking very good this year. They're very electric, very fun to watch, and I'm hoping for a long run on them. And then my third is going to be the Eagles at 2-0, just because the Eagles are still doing Eagles things, and they still have a way to control that game. The Bucks, I like the Bucks, but they gotta come together. I don't know that
they'll be fine.
But they're always like that 9-7 or 9-8, 10-17. You know what I mean? We talk about Super Bowl run, and then Arizona, that's a joke. San Francisco, injuries are tough.
I think San Francisco. I think San Fran's actually going to be fine. I think this is going to be a team that lingers around and stays around, potentially fights the Rams for the NFC West.
How long is Purdy out for?
He's not on IR.
Yeah, he'll be fine. And they're going to get
then I'll add the Niners back to that.
They'll get Kittle back eventually. They're going to get Ayuk back.
Our defense looks amazing.
Yeah, the Niners are fine. The 2-0 teams I don't respect are the Arizona Cardinals, and let's beat the Niners. And I'm still not a believer solely on the Indianapolis Colts. I get it. The New Orleans.
You don't have to justify that. Nobody, the goddamn Colts fans are not believers on the Colts. Yeah. Okay.
Saints were 2-0 last year, and then we saw what happened. Not saying the Colts can't win this division. Still, I mean, it's not the strongest division, but I still think the Jaguars and I still think the Texans are better than the Colts. So
Cincinnati has a 2-0 team. If we're talking strictly 2-0 team, Cincinnati would be in there if Joe Burrow is not hurt. Because the offense, they're out. They're out specifically because Joe Burrow is hurt.
Yeah, they're done. Like
Luke, we're only talking about 2-0 teams, Luke. I'm not saying the Ravens ain't got the chance to go the distance. All right, calm down. Don't talk about my wife.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
No, I know.
I mean,
shout out to Tommy or Alan, by the way.
But 0-2 teams, guys. Now, what are some 0-2 teams that you think can make that comeback? They can kind of reel things back in. They can make that playoff push, maybe still fight for division. What are some 0-2 teams that aren't dead out of the water yet?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to make that push. It's just the way it is. That they'll start off slow, and once it starts getting chilly outside, Mahomes is going to start cooking again. He does it every year, so I'm not going to be betting against the Chiefs making the playoffs. I think they make it. They're probably squeezing in a wild card slot, though.
I'm telling you, Houston's a team that I still believe fights for a wild card spot, if not the division. Defense is special. Yeah. The offense needs to figure out the O-line. C.J. Stroud's getting killed out there. I mean, every play it just seems like he's getting smacked around. I mean, I don't know what more he can do, but they got to get Nico Collins involved. They got to get these rookie receivers involved. Christian Kirk's got to get healthy. The defense is going to carry them, but the offense has got to finish drives, and they got to win games throughout the whole period of the game, not just the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm not riding off the Chiefs or the Texans.
I think there's like
I'm going to say the Chiefs because they have the highest potential. Because it's the Chiefs, and we've talked about bringing the parking attendant in and making him a star wide receiver.
Haven't done it yet.
Actually, I take that back. I like the Chiefs doing that. The highest potential for me on an 0-2 team coming back and making the playoffs is actually going to be the Houston Texans because that division is so goddamn weak. That division, all the Texans have to do, it's ironic saying this considering they're 0-2, but really all they have to do is show up to work and they're going to win the division.
It's a must-win game this week for them. They have to go into Duval and they have to win this game. You can't go 0-3 because the Colts play the Titans, so they could easily be 3-0. So they have to win this game.
But I don't think the Colts hold on. Jacksonville is, in my opinion, still too much of a dumpster fire.
It's just a weird team, man. Like I thought they'd be.
It is. There is so many questionable. I don't even know how to describe it.
I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence already. He got Trevor Lawrence already shrugging off the coach. Tell him, hey, shut up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, dude.
For the year.
0-2 teams that are out, though. I'm going to say the Panthers and Saints. I'll just say the rest of my division is a two-race horse for the NFC South. Carolina and New Orleans, they're done.
They're
Browns are done.
If you're asking me what 0-2 are out, I'm going to say Miami. I'm going to say Cleveland. I'm going to say Tennessee. I'm going to say the Giants, Carolina, and I am almost. This is the hardest thing for me to fucking say.
Chicago's done.
Going to say the Bears.
Dude, your quarterback has got one of the best. yards per separation, per receiving unit, running back, tight end, and he's only got like a 60-1 completion percentage. The guy is just not it. I mean, not right now at least. He can maybe turn it around. As of what I've seen this year through 2 games, it's not Ben Johnson's system and it's not the scheme. You're missing guys wide open. It's a Caleb Williams.
So here is my concern where I'm hoping the growing pain is going to fix itself sooner than later.
Hit the guys that are wide open. It's pretty easy.
No.
It's the penalties.
The penalty's a big one. The penalty's a fucking huge one. But this is quickly reminding me of the Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, trying to figure out the difficult Sean Payton playbook, and Russell Wilson struggling. And the only thing that I'm thinking, the reason I'm thinking that's not the case is because Caleb is comfortable in the pocket. He's looking comfortable in the pocket. You know what I me? You're right. He's missing receivers. But that's where I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking
the first 15 to 20 plays he looks comfortable when it's scripted.
But that's where I'm saying the problem is this is like the Justin Fields tunnel vision. He's got to be looking up the field. There's too many plays that I'm seeing, even if he's scrambling or getting chased. I know you're worried about the guys coming to tackle you, but you got to be looking up the field. That's what makes Mahomes so great. He's looking up the field. He's hitting the guys. There's too many times that I'm seeing Williams looking to his right, looking behind him, too hyper-focused on the people around him versus, hey, fuck me getting hit. I need to find somebody before I get hit, and that's what the difference is. He's not doing that, and I don't know if that's a complication in the playbook. I don't think that particular scenario is what is the complication in the playbook. I think it's trusting the offensive line, trusting the receivers to get open, looking up the field, and finding the open man. These are, in my opinion, these are minor things for a quarterback early enough in his career that we can correct it. Because Justin Fields, as much as I liked him, Justin Fields was so fucking beat down after 3 years that is his last year. There's nothing you can do. The guy is so accustomed and so I don't know the word I'm looking for.
I'll tell you
right
this.
now.
I'm not blaming the O-line and I'm not blaming the receivers.
I'm not
exactly.
I take that back. I'm blaming the O-line on penalties. The O-line has got to get their shit together on penalties. Is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, but even when they run a play, Caleb's missed the receiver by 5 yards.
The interception he threw was he threw it to Kirby Joseph. It's like he said, "Hey Kirby, catch this. I'll throw it to you."
The problem with his misses is that he is coming in way too hard charged on the throws. He does not need – he's coming in like he's got to throw this as hard as he possibly can, like he's fucking Randy Johnson in Game 7 of the World Series, and he doesn't need to do that. We've seen him throw it softer. We've seen him make the completions. Trust that your receiver is going to get – and don't get me wrong, there's times where it works. He threw a play – I don't remember who it was to. He threw a play that threaded a fucking needle that blew my fucking mind. I couldn't believe it.
I'll tell you this, New York Giants –
even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Hey, I'll tell you this. New York Giants dropped 37 on the Cowboys. The Bears better come close to that, or these fans are going to be fucking pissed off in Chicago this week. You better guarantee that. In Soldier Field, it'll be loud, and it'll be a lot of boo birds if Caleb Williams is doing what he did against the Vikings and the Detroit Lions.
They're going to start coming for me if they can't fucking do something after the first drive. They've been a first drive team, and that's it.
And I will say one thing about these 0-2 teams. Why the fuck are the Miami Dolphins leading the league in goddamn passing percentage? Why is Mike McDaniel still a head coach? Why is Tua still there? Why is everything just so stupid? You have no stack boxes against David Achane, one of the best running backs in football, when used right. Yeah, I get light boxes being used, but you have no percentages of stack boxes against Ollie Gordon and Devon Achane. Why are we throwing so much with Tua? And what is Mike McDaniels doing? The guy is just on mushrooms. He's on meth. He's on something because he's a dipshit.
I forgot all about
He's
Miami.
drinking again.
Also, they are all.
Wait, how are they?
Miami is done.
How are they number one in? You said completion percentage?
Pass percentages of plays. They run 72% of pass plays. They don't run the ball, and when they do run the ball, they don't even stack the box. They're not even challenging Devon Achane. They are literally letting them run the ball, and they still won't run the ball.
Well, I think that's always going to give them the defensive gifts. That's what's just going to happen.
The
guy said to win the game, you have to win the game. You can't lose the game. No shit, Popovich. No shit, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, dude.
The difference is those guys won the game. They can say that stupid, no fucking common sense bullshit. They've won championships. You've won nothing. You rode the coattails of Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. You rode that branch. You're maybe a good smart guy here and there. You're funny. Haha. It's real funny. I'm telling you, you're going to be the first coach fired this year. He's a fucking clown. And every week I'm going to say it. He needs to be fired. And they're going to lose this week big time to the real MVP, Josh Allen, when he drops fucking 34 on this defense and the offense can't get going in Buffalo this Thursday night.
Mark's still mad about Survivor. Don't worry, guys.
I'm mad about that, but he's a clown. He's been a clown since he stepped foot on that in the Miami and South Beach. He thinks he's cool. He thinks he's the funny guy. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He's not. He's not the guy. He's a play caller, and that's it. He has no respect in this locker room.
This guy is a fucking moron. I'm convinced at this point that the Dolphins spun a fucking wheel, and whoever the arrow landed on, they were like, Mike McDaniels, man, give him a contract. I don't know how this guy gets out of fucking bed in the morning and talks to his...
It's not even the fact that he said what he said. It's just how he said it. If you say it confidently, to win the game, you can't lose the game, so you got to win the game. However he said it, I'm paraphrasing. If you say it confidently, you do it.
That's it. It's exact his tone of voice. This is the kind of dude that comes out in the field. Good morning, coach. Sky's blue. That's great, Mike. That's great, Mike. Let's go get you a cup of water, Mike.
He's just not it, man. He's not it. I just don't.
This guy's a fucking moron.
Well, those are the 0-2 teams. Shout out to the Bears on being the same level.
Fuck the Bears. Fuck the guy. I am sick and tired of being a fan of a team. It's like paying somebody to punch me in the goddamn stomach every Sunday.
It's probably not napping during that. You don't have to. You don't have to get punched if you're napping. But anyways, guys, great episode. Tomorrow night, we're back here. Next episode, we have picks. Jake, shout out to you. Shout out to Doc. You guys took the lead, and you guys passed Luke, so Luke's one behind, I believe, now. And, it's we're going to see next week. A lot of games this week. Good games this week. Prime time, not so much, but the rest of the schedule is pretty good. So, Jake, good luck this week if you're not here tomorrow against the Cardinals. Luke, good luck against the Lions. Doc, you guys need all the luck. You guys need all the luck. Yeah. But I'm Mark Davis, All About the Balls podcast. Have a great one. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram @the Sack House.